Many years ago, I read an interview with an author. Very interesting author. He said, I write to blind myself to the passage of the moon. I have been trying to understand this for many, many years. Because what is the point of blinding yourself to something that you see? In A Course of Miracles, there is talk about perception versus creation. And I am under the impression that I can't live without perceiving. Yet I can't create if I don't stop perceiving. If I 100% create, I am totally disabled from perceiving. This is why people that work in museums as curators, they perceive art and artists and the history of paintings and art. But they cannot create anything. So it seems to me that the more you are able to perceive, the less you are able to create. And the more you are able to create, the less you are able to perceive. I look at Paul McCartney as a very creative person. And I also look at him as someone who is blinding himself to the passage of the moon. There is talk in the Bible about looking with both eyes and looking with one eye. The Bible says it's better to go to heaven with one eye than to hell with both eyes. So the question is it possible to go to heaven with both eyes open? And the question is it possible to stay in a relationship, in a marriage, with both eyes open? It's very clear that Paul McCartney is sending out the signal that he chooses to look at his wife with one eye in order to stay in their relationship. He ignores or denies what he is seeing in order to be able to love her instead of criticizing her and pushing her away. It's a decision that he has made in order to keep his wife. And it seems to me that a similar decision you have to make in order to keep your art or to keep doing art. For the last 2 and 3 years, I have been perceiving, not creating. I have been thinking and I have been observing consciously what is going on in my life when I don't create, because I want to research it and make sure that when I go from perception to creation, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm not willing to leave perception and go back to creating without first knowing why. I have been saying that when you marry someone, you don't know what you're doing. And the reason why you get a divorce is because you have opened your eyes to what your relationship is. And your perception is not allowing you to remain in your relationship. So what happened 3 years ago is that my perception of my own creating paintings and music could not allow me to stay creative. So I left the creative mood and went into perception. And I've stayed there. And the more I stay here, the more I find that if I should ever again paint, it is going to be something that I do like out of the blue. It's not going to be for a reason. It's going to have to be for the pleasure and the amusement and excitement of creating. And when I create, I am going to blind myself to the passage of the moon.